Welcome back to 3Bs on a Mission. We're three women speaking our unfiltered truths and divine feminine wisdom. This week, we're going to start out with a short grounding. We'll try to do this every week too, just to kind of, set the tone for the episode. So we'll each give kind of a mantra or affirmation that we're kind of embodying, for our week, or that's something that we're working through. I'll go first. So right now, my affirmation is, I know who I am, and I no longer shrink to fit someone else's comfort.
Excellent.
Oh, yeah. Mine would be...
Never mind. I guess the dragon's going to go.
Wow. Okay. Perfect. Yeah. So
can we also, wait a minute, before you go, can we also acknowledge that you are, we got to acknowledge the glasses, dude. We got to acknowledge the sunglasses.
Okay.
I said...
Yep. You better tell somebody.
Okay. All right. So the glasses are... Okay, we're going to go back with, this is public in which I was never in agreement to do, but then the universe said, no, you're going to do that. So I said, cool, if I'm going to do it, I know my soul is still healing, and your eyes are a window to your soul. So as long as I've got my soul healing, you're going
to keep your glasses on. I get it. I just think that we should have acknowledged it, right? So I think that's totally...
All right. So you think legit. I'm Cyclops or whatever you're calling me?
Right. Cyclops from X-Men. Like, if you take your glasses off, are you going to, laser eye all of us?
Yes.
Or burn us down?
Laser eye or fire eye from the dragons. Okay. So anyway, I just that will lead up to my affirmation of this week is, fear has no power over me.
Love that.
Period.
End of story.
I like that. Okay, Missy, what you got for us?
My mantra or affirmation would be, I fill my own cup.
I love that.
Yep.
That's
I like
incredible.
it. I think it says a lot in a small little...
But you know what? I like that it's short, but you know what? That's such a powerful statement, because honestly, not a lot of people do. No. They look for that kind of fulfillment outside of themselves. The fact that you affirm and and that's a focus for you is beautiful. I love that. I love that, girl.
Thanks, girl.
Okay. All right. Let's do a quick vibe check. Each one of you, give me a word that kind of describes your energy today. We'll go with you, G.
Well, that's resilient.
Okay. Don't want to say anything more about that. You're just feeling resilient today.
What? Yeah, I mean, we definitely get into all the things, but this week is definitely resilience. I'm just, whatever the kitchen sink could be thrown at me is being thrown at me.
So you've had to overcome some stuff this week, but
it's definitely spiritual warfare. 100%. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, I like it.
You can't play with me.
Okay. Tali, what about you?
I am actually feeling kind of good and getting my stuff done that I needed to get done. And I'm feeling, I don't want to say powerful, but
you're powerful.
Why not? I'm feeling powerful.
Why would you say it?
In my head, I had certain things that I wanted to get done, and I got them done. And
claim that. Don't shrink it. If the word is powerful, you just say, I feel powerful this week, today, whatever. My word this week, and it didn't start that way, but it really ended this way. I came out and I saw you guys this weekend, which was amazing, and spent time with our family, which, they live a distance from me. I'm way out here and you guys are all over there. And so my word from this weekend, which surprised me, was peaceful. I left feeling very peaceful, based on my time with everybody and my conversations with people, where there had been some rifts in the past or whatever, but everything was just peaceful. So that's what I'm embodying today.
A lot of people also don't have very peaceful family lives, so that's good.
I know. Amen. I know. And so I think ours is moving in a really good place.
Healing.
Exactly. Healing and moving to a very good place. Okay. So let's talk about what we're going to talk about this week. So today in our come up, we're going to explore the quality that creates the highest vibrational energy in your life and why that's important and how to do it. So before we get into it, do you want to guess what that quality or virtue is? Like, so for instance, like happiness or peace or what do you guys think is the quality or the virtue that carries the highest vibrational energy, that raises your energy if you embody this?
Oh, it's definitely peace. Because
Okay, you think it's peace?
once something can move you,
okay,
then it can't play off your energy. It can't lower your energy.
okay,
Just no lack,
okay,
I would say. Like
okay.
when you don't feel like you need anything.
Okay, so what would your guess be, Tolly? I guess I'm not trying to put you guys on the spot. I'm just I'm just picking your brains, like what you might think carries like that raises your energy to the highest level.
Raises your energy, like during the week. Besides a Red Bull.
Right. Yeah. Just looking for, I would say, happiness.
Okay.
That to me
okay,
would,
that's a good guess.
I feel like when you're happy, not only does it show, but it like comes out of your pores. It almost like exudes off of you, and people know, when they see a happy person, if they have a little skip in their step, something.
And if they're actually happy and not faking it to make it.
True.
Because you got the ones that will paint on the face that are like, oh, look how happy I am.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a really good point. So I'm gonna put a pin in what you just said because that's really interesting. So before I learned this quality myself and this idea that we're going to talk about, I thought it was love. Because I thought love probably carried the highest vibration because it makes you have all the feels and there's endorphins and all these things, and it definitely, love is up there, happiness is up there, peace is up there. But none of those things carry the highest vibration. The quality that carries the highest vibrational energy is authenticity. When you learn to be completely authentic, then you vibe in the highest energies. Okay. So that's what we're going to talk about today, about how to embody that, why it's important. I'll just start with saying, when you live authentically, your vibration rises, and then everything in your life aligns differently, because authenticity is one of those words that we hear all the time. But here's the truth. When you actually live it, your vibration changes. Okay. You feel lighter, you feel freer, you feel more magnetic. And then authenticity doesn't mean being perfect. I don't want it to be mistaken with that. But it means you're showing up as your true self without the mask. And we're going to talk about what that means. And when you are sitting in and embodying your authentic self, that means that your soul or your higher consciousness is expansive and it's connected and it's rooted in love. And so let's dive into why authenticity carries this high vibration, or the highest vibrational energy, how we get there, why it's more important to be, which is one of my favorite things that we're going to talk about, why it's more important to be kind than to be nice. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We already know. Okay. Go ahead. I'll let you speak.
So we'll get there. We'll get there. I promise you. I'll let you say all the things that you want to say. Okay. So before we jump into things, like, I'm just going to ask each of you, like, what do you think that authenticity means to you personally? And there's no right or wrong in this. It's like, what does it mean when you see somebody who's authentic?
Well, okay, I'll go first. Yeah. Okay. Authenticity is within. It is something that you feel within, and you don't give a damn about who thinks what. Like, no, this is who I am.
Okay.
So it's not a mask. It's not, I'm going to perform this for this group of people or whatever. No, I don't care who I'm in front of. This is who I am.
Okay. All right. I like that. Tolly, you got anything to add to that? Or what do you think?
I just think that, living your true life out the way you want. And not with anybody else's in regards opinions. Of any opinions or naysayers or whatever.
Okay.
Now it's 2025. If you have a problem with it, I have many words that I could say, but we're going to keep it.
But you're trying to keep your peace today. So let me ask you guys another question. Do you think that the majority of people live authentically? Okay. So that's really interesting that you say it that way. I also agree that it takes a lot to be an authentic person. And here's why. Because when you are authentic, your words, your actions, and your soul all align. So the alignment becomes that energy because everything's flowing together and that becomes pure energy that attracts. By the way, when you're in that highest vibrational energy, you start attracting in all of the abundance in life that you want. And that's health, wealth, happiness, and love. That all starts to flow to you because why? Because your energy is open, because your energy is opened up. And there are laws in the universe that say, oh, that person's open. Look at that. We're going to start sending it. We're going to send all of the abundance to them because they're open to receive it. But when you're out of alignment, that's when you see, like you're talking about, is when we're playing roles or we're people pleasing or we're hiding who we really are. Inauthenticity does the exact opposite. It drains the energy, it creates a resistance, and it attracts misaligned relationships and experiences for you. When you're out there and you're at your authentic self, imagine what you're attracting in. If you're
100%.
out
100%.
meeting, you're out meeting people, and let's say, I mean, we've all done this probably in our younger lives. You're out vibing with people and you're not being who you really are, but you're just going with it because you're with a group of people or whatever. Imagine what you might be attracting in when you're doing that. And I'm just saying, and this is in your work as well.
Alcohol involved.
Well, there probably always was alcohol involved and other things when you're doing that. But when you're inauthentic, you're attracting it, creating resistance with the universe because it's like you're not open. You're not in a good vibration. You're probably in a very low vibration because let's face it, that's just the way it is. And now you got these misaligned relationships and experiences that are flowing to you. Thank God.
And attachments.
For that.
Let's throw that in there.
But when you're
that's
authentic,
real life. That's real life.
But then when you are authentic, you release the masks and the illusions, and then you start to vibe at a higher frequency. Think about a time that you can tell me, think about a time that you were fully authentic versus like when you've wore a mask, I mean, if you've got anything to share.
Can you do that again? What was the question?
Yep. Give me a time, like, tell me a time where like you showed up as like your full authentic self versus maybe a time where like, you wear a mask, where you're not really you.
Just fuck it. Okay. I'm out here.
Okay. I'll give an example.
I can do that. Okay.
And I'll give an example as well. I've got one. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. My most full, true, authentic self was when my twin was in my life. Like 100%. Like no holds bars. Like I don't care. This is what it is. I never had the mask. I never felt the need to wear the mask. The mask was for everybody else. Like I am a very caring, loving person underneath, but I will not display that to anybody because again, kindness, weakness, caring versus nice. So, but I could walk my true authenticity, like fuck off, like, and be good.
That's a great example.
Show.
I mean, and I think that's a really good example too, because when you're in a twin flame connection, like it wouldn't matter anyways, because you see each other for who you really are. There's a mirror there.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what you say.
Doesn't matter.
You can be like, I can't stand you, and no,
like nah,
oh,
nah,
okay. Launcher.
No, that's not it. How about you, Tali? You said you had one.
I was listening too hard and it went away. Maybe you should go first.
Okay, I'll go and we'll come back to you. All right, so I'll give you an example of where I've wore a mask for most of my life. My mask has always been my humor. And so in the past, until recently now with my awakening and transformation, doesn't mean I'm not funny because I'm still funny. But in the past, I've always used humor to appear happy, to hide from people, to impress people, to seek validation from people. And I was really good at it. Like I could go in and use my humor and work a room of people. And I think you were the same. Like we grew up in a family that really embraced humor. They didn't embrace other emotions, but humor was the way you made it through life. So you got really good at using humor.
If you don't laugh at it, if you're not laughing, you're crying.
Right.
Right. And so I had a very unhealthy relationship with humor. So part of my healing was to reclaim that, to understand that it is a trait in myself that I really do value. Again, like I am funny, like I'm, and I value that in other people. That's why I vibe with you guys, obviously. But it's no longer, my humor now is no longer a mask. Like I don't need to use it to impress people, to win their favor, to have them like me, to appear happy if I'm not, and to hide. And so that has been one of the masks that I've had to face, to say, I've got to let that go and heal that so that I know how to use it appropriately if I want to be authentic.
Yep.
Anything else, Holly, or do you want me to move on?
No, I feel like, especially with what I do, doing hair, it sometimes is hard because no matter if you're having a good day or a bad day, you still have to put on not a show, but a certain amount of, they're used to you being a certain way.
Okay, but what if one of them comes in and they're like telling you like the shittiest thing that they've ever done? You still have to like eat it and smile and be like, yeah, and not. I have to take a razor off the back of their head and be like,
give them like, I give them a tissue if they're crying, and I'm try to comfort them.
But what if you just know what they did was shitty and they're explaining it to you, and it's like,
and then I
man,
go,
that was shitty.
Well, maybe next time you do that, you won't fuck it up like you did this time.
Well, all right.
Hey, I could see you actually saying that. See, I like that.
But sometimes it's very hard to go in and be always on.
I agree.
I agree. It's like, no
when
more.
It's the mask.
Especially when it's your livelihood. It's a great example. A lot of us show up to work and we're not necessarily the person that we are when we're outside of work, because it's your
depending
livelihood.
on what's going on, whether it be a divorce, a breakup, a death, you still got to tuck that right down for your clients and put it on. So I think they know that as I'm getting older, I don't really care much anymore about, a lot.
Exactly.
A lot. So, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So those are great examples. All right. So now that we've had some examples, we know, what it looks like in our own lives, and, how we didn't show up authentically, or we've had to wear masks and play roles or whatever. Now let's talk about, like, how do you actually achieve authenticity, and what are the practices that, lead us to embodying that? How do you actually step into authenticity? One of the first things, I'll give you 3 things that I've learned. The first one is self-reflection and shadow work. What I mean by shadow work is, those are the darker sides of the light sides of our personality. So for instance, like I'm very empathic, and I'm an extrovert, and I love people, but my shadow side is that I can be people pleasing. And so what that does is it puts me in it put me in a place where, I'm overgiving to people. I'm trying to get them to validate me, by overgiving to them and wanting them to recognize like how nice, how nice I am. I don't do that anymore, thank God. But that's always been something that's a shadow part of me. But I think it starts with, here are the things that I know that I do that are either masks or shadow qualities. And it's not about ignoring them or changing them, because they're all part of us. We all have them. Right. It's about owning those and saying, I know that this is part of me, but that doesn't get to show up first anymore. That I see you, I know you're part of me, but guess what? We need to move in a different way now. We need to understand our worth. We need to protect our peace. We need to, set boundaries. We need to teach other people what we will and won't accept for ourselves. And that starts with you, right? So that's just an example. But so it's, self-reflection and owning our shadow parts. The second thing is, this is hard. This is the hard one. This is why they get harder, because this is why people don't show up authentic, because it is difficult. Okay. The second one is starting to speak your truth with love. Okay. So let me give you an example. How many of us, the answer is all of us, but how many of us have ever had a friend who asks for your honest opinion? And instead of being nice, and sugarcoating it, you start to be kind and tell the truth. I'll give you an example. A common one has always been for me. I've had friends that'll come to me and you'll meet their new love interest or somebody they just started dating, and they'll come and they'll be like, and I love the way that they phrase it, because it's always a way that it's hard to say no, or how you really feel. They'll be like, oh my gosh, what did you think of so-and-so? Aren't they great? And you're like, in the past, I would have been like, oh, yeah, I mean, they seem nice. Monkey. When inside I'm screaming like, girl, run. And so, but that takes courage. What I've realized is I'm shortchanging the person who comes and wants to have that conversation, because I'm lying to them and I'm not respecting them. And so I flip the narrative and I say, okay, now if that person comes, and even if they set it up so that I'm going to say like, yes, like, oh, aren't they great? I'd be like, well, actually, there are some things that seem concerning to me. And that's hard because they've already set it up.
And they want the affirmation of they
want you to validate. They want you to validate. But so here's what I end up saying to people now, and they know. I'm like, well, listen, you just asked for my opinion, so I'm going to give it to you respectfully and honestly and with love. And that's what I say now. Like, you asked, and anybody in my life will tell you that I do that pretty faithfully now. It's not always received well, but at least I know that I'm being authentic. Like I'm telling you what I see, and maybe that will save you from some karmic lessons along the way.
That's cute. You're trying to save people from karma. I'm just saying, go get it.
Well, we have a different perspective, but okay. Yeah. And then the other one that has always been the third one, way you start to kind of vibe with this, is that you start to set boundaries without guilt. All right. And this is really hard. At least it was hard for me. Probably for some people who aren't people pleasers, this is easier. But so my gut check is always, if I can say no without guilt, then I know I'm honoring my truth. But I'm somebody who has my entire life has overextended, because it'd be like, okay, well, I don't want to let this person down, or I don't want to whatever. In the meantime, I'm running my ass into the ground because I didn't say no enough and put up boundaries, because I have this shadow quality. But now before I do anything, I'm always ask myself, am I doing this for me, or am I doing this to please someone else? Now, I'm not saying like helping people. That's different. Although that does have, you can get down to an unhealthy place if you're like over helping people who need to help themselves. But I'm saying, like, for the authenticity thing, it's like, if I'm doing the most for people, and it's because I want them to recognize me, and I want them to, it's people pleasing. Like, I want them to be pleased with me. That's the wrong reason to do it. And those are perfect times
looking for that validation.
Right. And that's never going to lead to anything healthy. Okay. Where was I? All right. So my next point about this is, and this is hard, especially if you've been a person who has always wore masks and had a personality that tends to want people to like you. Authenticity isn't about being liked. It's about being real, which is also why it's hard for people sometimes to embrace that. What's the check? And I'm making this sound terrible, actually, but it does lead to the most positive vibrational energy and alignment in your life if you can live authentically. But that's why everybody doesn't do it, because it's difficult. And there are things that you have to understand about it to be able to move in this way. But boy, it is the greatest gift that you can give to yourself. And you'll know that you're living authentically, because the first thing that's going to happen is your circle is going to shrink before it expands, right? Do you know what I'm saying about that? Is that...
Are we talking to me, who literally
I'm talking to both of you.
No one?
Yeah.
I'm zero. Yeah. It shrink to nothing.
But you know what it's doing? It's when you're authentic, the people that were only there for what you could give them and what you were doing for them and how you were killing yourself for them, and they were there to take and not to reciprocate your energy, your gifts that you were giving them, your time, your love, whatever, it removes them from your life. and it's making space, because what happens is that the universe will remove people, places, and things from your life that no longer align with your highest self, to make room then for those that do. I don't know about you, but it was a hard lesson, because some of the times either people can be family members, they can be partners. It removes people from your life that may have been there for a long time in whatever capacity. It can be anything. And it might be places and things. It might remove you from a job, because when you start to vibe in your most authentic self, you're like, listen, I have hated this for for as long as I could remember. I've just been showing up and doing this, wearing a mask, not really feeling this. And then you start to realize, because you go within and you start to say, like, what really does make me authentically happy? What would really make me feel lit up to do every day, right? So it starts to challenge those things. It challenges the place that you might be living or where you are. Maybe you're just not aligned with this place. And then all of a sudden, in order for you to be your most authentic self, doing the thing you love, being with the people that you love, it may require you to uproot your life. And so those are all really scary things to people, right?
Yeah, but I do it right now.
Okay. All right, Tolly, you're in. But I mean, a lot of people will probably watch this and be like, yeah, I don't know. But again, I'm going to say, like, whatever is removed, although it can be painful because you have attachments to things, right? And you have feelings and about all the things. Ultimately, if you embrace your authenticity, you're moving toward the thing or things that and people that make you the most happy in life. Like that, and you're going to be doing the things that make you your highest, greatest self in the world. And I don't know that there's anything that's better than that. I mean, you guys can disagree with me, but it takes courage, And the other thing that authenticity requires you to do is, kind of, it requires death to your ego, because your ego is that part of yourself that identifies, with the roles and the labels and, the successes, the career, the status, your possessions, and even the way that other people see you. I gave the example of me using humor because that made me really likable. I've always been the life of the party. If we were going out, I was the one, like, people would be pissed if they were like, wait, you're not going out? Why aren't you going out? Well, there's 8 other people that are going. Why the hell you care if I'm going or not? It's like, no, because you're here. Like, you're here to entertain us. You're here to bring the party.
You're fun.
Yeah,
they
and I
fun
am.
And you showed up.
Well, exactly. And I still am. But guess what? I do it because I want to do it now, not because y'all want me to do it. And you think that I'm going to try to make you feel something. When I show up now, it's because I want to, and it's because I don't need anything from you. I don't need you to like me. I don't need you to validate me. I have that in myself. I'm just there to have fun with people I enjoy.
Oh, so you're not doing play monkey play anymore?
No. That is definitely not happening in my life anymore. It just took me a very long time. Yeah, the circus monkeys. Okay. And the last thing I wanted to talk about in this authentic space, just because I just want to clarify a few things, and this is just a chip on my shoulder. The difference between nice versus kind. Okay.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Because I think that is something that we all encounter, like, every day, every week, whatever. And so, in my opinion, nice is that surface level appeasement. It's the people pleasing. It smiles at you. It says all the right things, but your gut is telling you, like, man, as soon as I walk out of here, that bitch is going to be saying some stuff. Exactly. You can feel it, and you can just feel, like, even through the smiles, the looks, the words, you can feel like it's inauthentic. Okay. Kind is rooted in truth and compassion and respect, even when it's uncomfortable. So the example of the kindest thing that you can do is, if you love your friend and they're with some shit person that they've just introduced you to, is to be like, instead of being nice, where you're like, they seem fun, or as long as you're happy, whatever the bullshit lines that we always say, the kindest thing that you can do is look at that friend and say, listen, I love you and I don't want to see you get hurt. This person is not it, bro. And they still may get pissed at you, but guess what? I told you because I love you and I respect you and I don't want to see you hurt. But if you choose what you choose,
knowing what your words are coming from, if it's a place of obligation, then that's you're being nice. If it's a place of loyalty and love, then you're being authentic or
and
real.
it's like, telling somebody the truth gently versus staying silent just to keep the peace. Like, I don't want to make any waves, that kind of thing.
People
but
there's
so many people that do that.
That's why nobody asks me anymore.
And that's usually the whole underlying thing about being nice is usually about keeping the peace, even if it means betraying yourself. But being kind is rooted in truth and compassion, even if it's uncomfortable. And I'm going to tell you what, there are so many examples where some of the kindest people show up with like resting bitch face. Okay. Can we just be real for a minute? Like, people will look at somebody. Okay. Yeah. Like you. Right. I mean, and sometimes people might look at you and be like, oh man, what? Look at that resting bitch face over there. But you know how you'll know is you watch their actions. You'll start to see if you're out with them, they treat the people that are serving them the kindest. They are gentle in their words. They worry about other people. They put other people first. They make sure that because like, gee, you'd be the first one to be like, hey, you good? Like, are you good? Like, 100%. Is there, you something wrong? Like, is something I can do for you? It's like they care. They're not just like, hi. And I don't know if you've ever been out with people like this, like they seem like the nicest people. And then somebody comes over and let's say a server does something a little bit wrong and you watch the snap where they're like,
take it back. That's not what I did.
This isn't what I said, and you're like, what the hell? And then they'll snap back and then they start trying to be nice again. And I'm like, okay, all right. You know what? I'm good. I'm good with this.
You can't talk to waiters, waitresses, anybody like that. If you're being nasty or rude, you're not my kind of person.
I low-key hope they spit
exactly.
in your food.
Yep, that's what I'm talking about. You cannot. No, these people work their fannies off.
Yep, exactly. We all agree on that. But I just wanted to, kind of hammer home nice versus kind. I will take kind every day and twice on Sunday. Don't give me nice. I don't vibe with nice because nice it's inauthentic. Don't smile
I've
at
to
me.
The point where I've done this for so long at this point, and I was so hermited and whatever. And when I do come out and play in energy, because we know that I don't do that very often at all. But when I do come out and play in energy, like, bitch, I can feel you from across the room now. Like, I know what that energy is. So you can approach me with the biggest smile and the biggest, oh my God. And like, I'm in my bubble. And yes, I got the RBF. Like, yeah, because you're not going to play in my energy.
Yep. So I'm just going to sum this up for us about authenticity. The reason why so you can see why it's difficult for everybody to kind of go after it. But honestly, if you commit to doing this and you let it work its magic through you, I'm not going to say that it's the easiest path because of the way it will start to rearrange things in you and show you your shadows and things that you might be doing all your life, where your masks have to drop, and what people, places, and things may have to shift or change in your life. But ultimately, once it's done its work and you start living as an authentic person, I'm telling you, you are attracting in everything in abundance into your life that you could ever wish or hope for. This has been a walk for me. I'm not all the way there, but it's definitely doing things in my life. But I haven't attracted in everything in abundance yet, but I believe it's coming. Those things are aligning and coming. I can feel everything starting to make its way because I already can tell the shifts that are happening. My challenge, I guess, to everybody, that's watching this is, where is one place in your life where you can choose authenticity starting today? Maybe there's certain things. I gave my example of humor. That was the first thing that was shown to me was, this is a great quality about you, but you're using it totally wrong. How can you start, if you feel a certain way, don't use humor to mask it. Everybody expects me to show up as happy Wendy. What if I just showed up and was like, no, you know what? I feel sad today. Today is awful. Sorry, guys. I'm not going to perform for you. I'm feeling terrible today. And that's okay to say. how they respond is not your problem. You don't own that. You own how you feel. And then I guess the next thing is think about one area of your life where you are still wearing masks. And what would it be like to drop it? What would happen so that you could start to live and move as your true self and raise your vibration? Because when you do that, when you start to raise your vibration of energy, you raise the vibration of everyone around you. And then when that starts to happen, that then, that collective energy starts to change the world. And that's the bonus of, first doing it with yourself, but then knowing that it has a residual effect on everybody else in your life. Why wouldn't you do that? Anyway, that's where I'm going to leave that. All right. So the next segment that we're going to go into is our favorite, the gutter monkey energy segment. G, I'm going to turn that over to you.
Okay, so let's see. Gutter monkey energy of this week would be the one-uppers. Oh my God, girl, I just got my nails done.
Well, I got mine done, and they are probably much better than yours.
Exactly. They are, actually. Hers are just fire. Like, I just did my own, whatever. But it's that for me. It is, you are these people are so...
They're toppers.
Yeah. Well, and again, why you have to, if you are one of these people, ask yourself, why do I feel the need to not be happy for somebody because, oh my God, like they got a new job or they're going through a tragic moment. And rather than having some empathy for them or whatever, I have to be like, well, my dad died, like, you don't know what trauma is. What? Like, so it's all of that for me. It's all that.
How do you deal with, okay, so we're talking about authenticity. You get a one-upper. Say you've had a shit week and something's horrible. Let's say you're going through I don't know. Let's say you're going through like a relationship issue or something, right? You're going through a breakup or whatever. All right. And you're like trying to tell somebody, man, like, hey, how you doing? And you show up real and you're like, well, now that you asked, I'm feeling pretty shitty right now. I'm in the process of going through something, and you start to tell them, and then they say to you, oh my gosh, yeah, I know. I mean, no one has gone through what I went through when I went through my breakup. Like my breakup, oh my God, it was the worst. And all of a sudden, instead of leaning into like how they could support you and let you talk about how you feel, okay, that happens. Now what? What do you do now if you're living authentically and that happens to you?
See, bitch, I just walk away. I mean, first of all, I'm not even sharing my feelings. Like,
no, but like, let's just say you did.
Just stop.
Okay.
Say I did. Okay. And who? All right. So
let's pretend you are sharing your feelings and that scenario just happened. How do you show up authentically then to somebody who just one-ups you with that kind of energy?
Oh, okay. I shut it down immediately. I said, literally have had these conversations. You just showed me right there how unimportant I am in your life, where you didn't want to just give me the moment to let me just speak. So as of this moment, I know my place in your life, and I'm exiting stage left.
Yep.
Done. So I'm done. Nobody plays in my energy anymore. Nobody.
Yeah.
Bye now.
And actually that example is example of nice versus kind, right? So they did the nice thing about asking you how you're doing. You show up authentically and you're like, actually, I'm going through something and it sucks. And then they're like, my God, when I went through my shit, my God, it was like the worst and whatever. And so that immediately says to me, no, you don't care about anybody but yourself, right?
Yep.
And so in past, you're right. I would have probably just listened and been like, and then you know what I would have done? I would have probably started empathizing with this low vibrational person. Yeah. And been like, oh 100%. My God, that sounds terrible that you went through that. Meanwhile, I'm the one that shows up in the breakup and, with my heart on my sleeve, and now I'm comforting them about something that happened to them like 5 years ago or something.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry you never dealt with that. Oh God, I know that pain. I feel that pain for you, and you should really deal with it.
And you see why it's gutter monkey energy, because you went from like, okay, let's say you're barely making it that day and somebody asked you how you're feeling.
Vulnerability. You were vulnerable in that moment.
Because that was honest, right? And so you showed up and you were like that. And then all of a sudden they flip the script and they're going into their selves or whatever. And you're like, okay. And then you start pouring out to them and you don't even have it to pour out. So guess where your energy goes? It goes from like maybe mid, like whatever. And now you're in the gutter. You're in the gutter. And now you're
100%
worse off.
Watching shit float by. Shit all around me. Here it is. Here we are again.
But okay, perfect. I know. I mean, I don't know. Are you an empath, G?
I have no idea what the hell I am.
Okay, so
I am literally the one that everything gets sent to. Clean up.
Yeah.
Clean it up.
Yeah.
You I don't know what the hell that is.
No, so you have a healing gift. I know that. I know you have a healing gift. Tali, you're definitely an empath. You're an empath. I'm an empath. Okay. I would guess that both of us have had scenarios like we just described, where it didn't matter if you showed up to talk to somebody and they asked you and you're like, oh, and then all of a sudden as empaths, here we are overgiving, like trying to help somebody, and we don't got shit to give in ourselves. I mean, because I know I've seen you show up like that. And so here's the difference now. Now we know better.
That's it.
And we say, you know what? So this is how this plays out now. It's like, okay, if my energy is low because I'm going through something and I'm trying to heal and I'm trying to process and I'm trying to get myself to the right place, and you show up like that to me now, I will be kind, but I will say, you know what? It doesn't seem like you're really that interested in what I'm going through. I appreciate that you've been through some things in the past, but if you want to come and actually talk to me and be a friend to me or whatever, then I'm good with it. Otherwise, I think we're good here. And I'd walk away. And I know that, I'm going to tell you what, that would shock the hell out of some people because I've never shown up like that. I've always gone down that other path.
That's not your MO. That's not how you deal with things.
And that's not yours either.
I actually would shock people if I showed up like that because that'd be way too nice. I didn't come with the fuck off.
No, listen, you would have, so people would expect you.
Dragon.
Listen, first of all, nobody's even asking your ass how you're feeling at all, okay? Because you show up intimidating as hell. And people are going to be like, okay, you know what? Unless she speaks to me, I'm good. But those of us that are empaths, that we are extroverts, that we are people, and there's kindness in our energy, right? And we care about people. So this is specifically for Tali and I and anybody else who's watching that can vibe with this. It's so important. That's what we were talking about, boundaries. It's okay to draw the boundary and say, guess what? Sorry, bro. I don't have anything to pour out to you. Right. And unfortunately, you aren't it for me either. And, so it's like navigating that, but being able to say, nah, sorry, and that's hard. That's hard to do. But you know what? At the end of the day, it protects my peace. I don't have to try to overgive to you and make you feel better about something that happened to you when I don't have it to give.
And you shouldn't feel bad for it either. You know what I mean? It's like,
I'm so over all that.
Or not, right. And not feel guilty. Like when we were talking about like, having
that's
the guilt because you've been in this people pleasing type of thing. You've been taught like, hey, if somebody's hurting, doesn't matter if you don't have anything and you're barely dragging your ass through.
You know that in the past, like they helped me with so-and-so, like they were there for me that one time. So then again, you feel obligated to be there for them, even though you're dead ass empty.
Yeah. And guess what? That's not helping anybody. And then just depleted yourself back to zero. And now I got to try to build that up on top of it. My point is avoid the gutter monkey energy of the one-uppers, because listen, they've got to learn that lesson. And maybe it starts with you setting a boundary to say, nah, you know what? No, because maybe no one's ever challenged their ass before.
No,
maybe nobody's ever said, you know what? Like, what is wrong with you? You came and asked me and now you've flipped it on yourself. Like, are you crazy? I mean, I wouldn't be nasty like that, but I would lay a boundary. We know, Dragon, that you would blaze them up, but for those of us that are empaths,
Dragon
roll like that. We don't.
Oh, confirmation.
Like that.
Mr. B
Mr. B is confirming all of that. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Hey,
so I think that's a clear, good place to stop. All right. So for our next segment, we're going to add something new this week. And it's a little exercise that Tali's going to work through. And it's called, is it a blessing?
Lesson or a lesson?
Okay. So Tali, do you want to get us started through that?
In this segment, we will be playing Lesson or a Lesson, where we throw out real life moments and unpack whether they show up as divine blessings, karmic lessons, or maybe a little bit of both. It's all about finding deeper meaning behind the twists and turns.
Oh, right.
A show too?
This is why, okay, listen.
I wish. Oh my God.
This is why we love you, Miss, because
that's just the energy she really brings. Like,
she
seriously.
does every single day. Like, I don't know that I've ever seen you not bring that energy.
Yeah.
Maybe when you're almost like half asleep.
No, I remember that. I remember
that. What we're calling it?
Okay. Yeah, that's what we're calling it for G ratings. Okay.
For now.
All right. Go for it.
So,
okay.
All right. So give us our first scenario.
The first scenario as a blessing or a lesson.
Okay.
Losing your job, for instance, ladies.
Okay. All right. Just give our opinion.
So losing your job is the first one.
I can't, because I've literally been at the same job for 23 years.
Yeah, that is
such,
years. All right. That's such a weird thing. So
that's
this actually
my loyalty.
This happened to me about a year and a half ago. It was the first time that I've ever lost my job. And at the time when it happens, you feel like, oh God, this is horrible. But it ends up being the biggest blessing for me because it changed my whole outlook on what I was doing, what I really wanted to do. And then and then there were opportunities that came because of it that I was able to step into something. The way that I work now is better than I've ever worked in my entire career. I'm able to
that's amazing.
Work as an independent and do the work that I do with, various different clients now, where if that hadn't happened to me, I probably just would have stayed with the job that I had. For me, it's a blessing.
All right. I feel that.
What else you got for us, Miss?
A friendship that ghosts you.
I got this one.
Okay.
That one chick, okay, that was hella tight with me. And like my lesson, I ended up having to learn a lesson. I was enabling. And when I stopped enabling and I called her on it and I was like, look, you're looking for validation from everybody else, like all the time. Like why isn't they looking at me? I need this. Literally poor as hell, can't pay your own rent, but you're going to buy an outfit so so-and-so can say you look good. Like what? So I just laid it all out and I said like, hey, I'm not going to affirm any of this for you anymore. Like you need to love yourself. You need to figure out what that is and what that looks like for you. That was the last thing I said. Me being me, I actually said it kind, like I wasn't even harsh about it. I mean, it is me, so maybe it was harsh, but bro, she never ever spoke to me again, like ever. I've never ever heard from her again. So I was like, but in the end, it was a blessing because I realized how much she drained me from needing that constant validation every single day. I was the friend that needed to tell her like, no, you're still beautiful. Like, don't worry about this, or you got it. And, I get that like you're having some things with your kids, but it's gonna, find it in yourself.
Exhausting.
It is
exhausting.
100%.
So for you, it was kind of both. It was a lesson at first, like, hey, stop doing that for people. But then it ended up becoming a blessing because you're like, I don't have to do that anymore.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. Okay.
The next one, winning unexpected money. I have never won unexpected anything.
Really? Okay.
I'm not a winner.
I have many times.
She definitely has.
Go for you, girl.
She has. I mean, I have too,
That's awesome.
but not to the point that she has. I mean, at the end of the day, let me just say this. Money is energy. It's a tool. It's a resource. I think how you approach it is whether it's a blessing or a lesson. Okay. So always look at it as, why did this flow into my life? What am I supposed to do with it? Now that I'm understanding and awake, Before, I probably just blow it on random shit that didn't matter because I'd be like, oh, it's like found money. Now I'm more mindful about it. Now I'm like, okay, why did this come in and what am I supposed to do with it? And the more that you do that, I think that, so that was a lesson to me. The more that you do that, the universe is like, oh, look they can be trusted with some stuff. And some of it's for you and some of it may not be for you. Some of it may be for somebody else, but unless you're tapped in, how other, like you said.
Where me, I always went the opposite way with it. I always gave it away.
Mm-hmm.
I would show up at my kid's door and be like, I won money. This must be for you. Like,
yep, 100%. I know that you've done that. You always have been somebody that gave it away.
That's awesome.
I must have been a selfish asshole back in the day because, like, I would go buy myself new stuff, man. I buy myself new fits.
No.
And,
you want it, didn't you?
whatever. Well, but the thing is like, it may have needed to go to something else. I mean, that makes me sound really irresponsible. I wasn't irresponsible. I just wasn't, it just wasn't as mindful.
You were working in your shadow self.
Yeah, right? Yeah, I probably was.
Literally
but, but now I approach it a little differently, obviously.
The next one is an injury forcing you to rest.
Okay, Towley, how would you feel about that one? Especially given your job.
Well, I mean, if I were to get my hands done with the carpal tunnel surgery, for instance, I think it's 4 to 6 weeks that I would be out. And that 4 to 6 weeks, I don't get paid for 4 to 6 weeks because I'm not working. So it's like I could do many things, but it's just like that would be detrimental.
Right.
So
if I had
not a blessing.
it would not be a blessing.
Well,
it would be both, because it wouldn't be a blessing, and it would be a lesson for me to be like, hey girl, shouldn't you have put away money?
Oh, right. So you could plan.
You know what I mean?
So
it's like
fixed.
kind of there's a couple ways you can look at it.
Or if your friend G has a windfall, then she could give you. She can
That's
show up
right.
at your
She's the
door.
one that knows how to win money.
I'll
she can win money and you make it double, triple.
There you go.
Quadruple.
There you go. Double it up. Okay.
All right. Someone betraying your trust is the next one.
Oh, God, this is a hard one. My God. I'm gonna be honest. This has happened a lot in my life, unfortunately. And I would say it's both, right? The lesson in it is that all of the people who have betrayed my trust, I have now learned did not match my energy or frequency. They were not aligned with me. That was the lesson. It was like, now I know how to give my energy, love, attention to people who show up like I show up, and to trust my instincts about that, because those are the things like red flag, and I just collect them and put them in a drawer somewhere. So that's a lesson. But the blessing in the betrayals, which who would believe that you would say this, but when you are betrayed, and if it happens to you more than once, to some of us that are unfortunate, it makes you look at yourself and understand, why is this happening? What am I doing, or what am I giving out that allows that to happen? Every place like that, I think it's been a lesson and a blessing for me. And also now is because now I'm somebody who can look at people who've been betrayed, in terrible ways, and on my own mission to be able to say, I understand. And you know what? And here's how you can heal from this and not get stuck so that you hate the world and you hate this person, and you can start to be a light for some folks that maybe need that kind of reassurance and encouragement and healing. So for me, that's how it sets up for me. Betrayal for you, G? Are you just Are you just blazing people up, or are you?
I am literally blazing people. No, that one. All right, we're talking about betrayal of me. I don't even touch it anymore. I know at this point, like, I used to be the fighter, like literally the fighter, like throwing hands. At this point, I am no longer the fighter, because if and when you betray me, I can sit back and literally watch your life crumble.
Okay. Oh, okay, cool. All right. So what you were saying then, G, is that you see betrayal as karmic lesson for that person do you also see it as a lesson for you?
Listen, I don't need no more lessons.
Okay, awesome.
I have a PhD in betrayal and all of it. Just I'm a doctor at this point, a doctor of the bullshit.
Doctor of betrayal. I love it. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Okay. Well, we'll move on from there, and
We'll
if that's okay with you.
Drama erupting is the next one.
Who wants to go on this one? All right. You know what? Okay. I'm gonna say my lesson was you told me years before, stop playing with these family members. Stop playing with the family. Stop playing in this. Ain't right. It ain't right. And you know it ain't right. And I was like, no, because of loyalty and it's always been off, but it's better now. And whatever the shit I had to tell myself to keep showing up, literally the universe pulls me aside because this DNA was actually slamming the shit out of my twin. And I just saw this hate in God. It was disgusting. I pulled away. And when I pulled away, I was sent every person out of every corner of the earth to say, oh, did you pull away because of this? Because of that? And then the family split because then it was, well, we know what that is and it's family. So you got to forgive and move on. Bullshit, bitch. Bullshit. Don't you ever tell anybody they got to forgive because it's family and move on. Kiss my motherfucking ass. That's what you do. So I got out my scissors and we all knew it was off from day one. But, and again, that's where it's family. You gotta figure, you only have one family. Fuck that shit. Fuck you and the horse you rode on. And I'll tell you what, my family is those little, my littles, our little, come up queens. That's my family. And I don't even have to speak to them. I send them my energy daily because girl, I see you shining and I don't care what anybody says that looks like. Oh, you're not this or you're not that. Yeah, you are. You're all of that. Yep. You're all of that because you overcame this family bullshit. Stand on it.
Okay. Well, so that was a very fiery response, but
sorry.
I think,
it's
So I think what happens is that family creates a different dynamic, right? But at the end of the day, it's about being respected and it's about self-respect. And if I don't, like we were talking about before, like if people aren't showing up to be authentic and respect you, and if you're giving respect to people and they're just not, sometimes even if they're family, it's tough. You have to draw a boundary. And you have to say, yeah, no, I don't accept this kind of disrespect for myself. And I don't roll that way. And you're right. I tried to warn you about that before because you can read the energy of these folks. Like, I don't care if they're family or not. Energy is energy. And, you have to learn where you should be giving yours out and to whom. So for you, that's a lesson.
Again, scholar in the lessons, like got my whole PhD at this point.
Got your PhD.
I'm good. I'm good.
And the last is a door closing on a dream.
I don't drink, bitch, so I don't know.
Man, I don't know, Tully, you got anything on this? Okay. Gosh, so I'm a dreamer, but all right, anybody who knows, I'm an Aquarian. I know, Tully, you're also an Aquarian. So as Aquarius people, we are big dreamers. I mean, we can dream crazy realities, whatever. So for me, I've actually had quite the opposite happening. Is that I have had these big wishes and dreams in my life since I was young, like very, very young. And because I had these big dreams, and I had people who surrounded me, and again, it's not their fault, like, family and friends and whatever. I was always told that I was too much. Get your head out of the clouds, kid. Great. You want this or that in your life, or you think you're going to do this or that. And it was always like, I think they were trying to help me be grounded and be like, listen, I don't want you to be disappointed, but that doesn't exist, or this kind of thing is probably not going to happen for you. Mm-hmm. And so I spent my whole life and I buried all of that stuff, right? So I buried it. I was like, okay, apparently we don't do this. And, these things don't exist. Even though they were dreams and like the deepest desires of my heart, I buried that shit. It's crazy. And when I started to go through this spiritual awakening and they were bringing up all of my things, I literally had a really difficult vision. And it happened to me one night. It was like spirit showed up for me, or like an angel or somebody, I don't know, somebody that works with me, I guess, in this vision. And they handed me a shovel and they brought a shovel and then they motioned me to like walk with them, my spirit person, walk out into the middle of a field. And then they pointed to the ground and they started digging, helping me dig. And we dug up this little box and then they motioned for me to open it. And so it was a little chest and I opened it, and in it were all of the things that I had buried from when I was a kid. And they started to remind me and show me like things of my heart, my passions, love, all of these things that I had given up on, that I didn't think would ever come true. And then they gave it to me. And the message that was said to me is like, don't ever bury this again, because this is truly who you are. And so now I'm starting to embody, like, okay, doors closing on a dream. I closed those doors on my dreams and they helped me come and pick them back up. So, now I'm having to embody those things. And some of them are huge. Like some of them are really big. And some of them, I can't even explain how it will all work or happen. But I've been shown like, you don't give up on this, and this is a blessing. And so, obviously I journal all of that down and I record it. And, as it starts to happen for me, because now I walk and I claim it and I'm like, okay, if you took the time to show me this and we went out, I'm telling, like, who goes out in a vision and is digging with spirit people to dig up your things?
You just gotta download, just gotta what? Meanwhile, like you make my head itch, bro. Like literally.
I'm sorry. What I'm telling you is true. I never expected that would happen, but you know what?
Listen, I'm not about to disagree and get another stake in my foot. So
good. I guess my message is in this vision and what happened to me, my message to anybody who's watching this is, first of all, who closed the door on your dream? If it was you, then maybe you start to bring that back in and say, well, why couldn't that happen for me? Because what they have taught me is that if you had a dream that was that deep, it's not a coincidence, especially since, like we said last week, you come preloaded to earth with all of the things inside of you that you're supposed to have. Dreams are included in that. There's a reason why you are dreaming of things and why you have an expectation of things. And so if you've buried it, maybe it's time to bring that back up and start to believe that maybe those things could happen for you. But if a door closes, like if something else outside of you closes the doors on your dream, it can be hard to take because you were like, I thought that was what I was supposed to do. But that's when you press into it and say, okay, but if not that, then what? But I really am of the mindset that dreams are different. Dreams are something that like they are intrinsic to us. And I was shown that lesson. That's my take on it.
It's a lovely take.
It is.
Okay. So the last segment, Tali, that we'll go through is the segment of when you align, you shine. What do you got for us this week?
So I was thinking about this, and I think that different ways to do anything begins with a pen and paper. Well, or if you're computer literate.
Listen,
it's
okay. It's okay for us Gen Xers. We probably are still pen and paper people more than we are anything. Right? I mean, I use technology all the time, and I'm probably, but
still
Gen Xers and up are probably, there's just something like, I love the feel of that. I'm just weird like that. But
I agree. I also like reading books. I like the the
actual book, like not a Kindle.
All the books.
Right.
I like books too. I'm a book person too.
I think that if you start writing down different things, or you could even do like different, what do I want to say? I was telling you guys about these earlier.
Affirmations.
Yes, all the different
abundancy affirmations you're putting in your shower now.
They're these awesome
Are you taking
shower
me to
affirmations, and they're literally like for the shower to put on the wall. So they'll be there when you get in, and they stick on the shower. So anytime you get in the shower, you can sit there and do all your affirmations while you're getting ready for your day. You can write your own,
right?
you can, do whatever, but write down some affirmations and such. I think that is a good way to align and shine.
Agree with you.
100%.
Because what do affirmations essentially do? They change your mindset. Because like when you start saying positive things to yourself and over your life every day, I mean, that's going to change things in you and then in general. It's going to raise your energy. Um, there's nothing bad about any of that.
I can attest to that. Like when I stopped the bad self-talk, I'm not anybody special. I am authentically me. This is me. And if you don't like it, you feel free not to have to tell me, because I'm not going to listen.
G's not going to answer you, but Tali and I will. We will read any of your idea that you want us to cover for a come up or a message that we will be mindful and hopefully channel. If it's something you're manifesting, anything you want to share with us, we're glad to have your input, because remember, energy that's exchanged is only going to cut the pain for the things that we start to cover. Because when you share your energy with us, then that's going to influence what we're hearing and what we're hearing. So the empaths will hold that down for you, Dragon. Don't be blazing people up.
I'm not blazing anybody up. Like, I do like hearing other people's, oh my God, I'm going kind of through this too or whatever. And don't let me intimidate you. That's not what I'm trying to do. Like yes, I get it. I'm very intimidating. I understand that. I'm working on that. I'm working.
Remember, she's healing.
I am healing.
And
Glasses,
she's learning.
Glasses.
And yep, the Cyclops. She's not going to blaze anybody up.
I'm not going to blaze you. I'm not going to blaze you up. But, again, because I protect my energy so hard now. It's hard for me to open that door and say, especially in an online forum. So I'll let the empaths do all of that. And you're welcome.
You're welcome. That's what the
Mm-hmm.
empaths will hold that down. Queen of Swords,
Thank
put
God.
down your sword. The thing is, if you're not familiar with Queen of Swords energy, it really looks like G. They can be pretty sharp tongued. They hold their boundaries. They're fierce, but the thing is about them, they also know their worth, and most of them do have soft hearts, and that's why they have to, put up the guard. But we'll see how that changes with you over time. But in the meantime, Tali and I will hold it down for the empaths. Okay, so to wrap this all up, we want to thank you if you've spent all of this time and you've made it to this point with us. Thank you for listening. We do value your feedback. We do value your input. Send us your energy, send us your comments, send us things that you would like to hear us maybe talk about. I am somebody who does channel messages, obviously. And so if there's something that you're like, I really would like you guys to, spend some time on, this topic or, whatever, we'll lean into it and, we'll consider it. But, and this is just a reminder, like you're not just an audience, that's just listening and, tuning into us. Like, you're part of this overall mission. This is about us sharing energy. This is about sharing truths. This is about being real. As we talked about today, about being authentic. We hope that this finds you and maybe it stirred something in you about being authentic. Maybe you've been somebody who, like any one of us, maybe you've been a people pleaser. Maybe you overextend yourself. Maybe you haven't confronted things when you probably should have and laid a boundary. And so we hope that, this makes you think. That's all we're here to do, is we're here to just make you think, and maybe start to choose yourself and start turning that energy back into yourself and understanding who you are, what you deserve, and, vibing with us like that. So we are part of your soul tribe. If you're aligned with, those messages, then you found the right people, because we will support you
on whatever level. Again, like healing, just starting. So we're all on different levels.
That's right.
My problem is I went through healing and then I reverted in and did hermit and shut the entire world off.
Yep. That's you know what, G, that's a really good point.
Stunted.
That's a really excellent point. This is for every walk. We meet you where you're at. So you might be, a healed, high vibe, Empress, High Priestess. Like me, you might be like G, who's embracing her Queen of Swords. She's got some level of healing and understanding. Or you might be like Dolly, that is starting to figure these things out too. And so each one of us represents a different energy. And that's why we're bringing this in like that we're being very intentional about that, so that you can relate to each one of us, you know? And so at the end of the day, we just hope that you feel something, and that if it inspires you, if it makes you think, that's all we want to do, is connect with you like that. So until next time, the divine in us honors the divine in you. Start showing up as your authentic self. Figure out where you might be wearing masks that you could drop. You know, keep choosing yourself over anything else. It's not selfish. I know we've been taught that it's not selfish. Start choosing you, your peace, your boundaries. And with that, we're 3Bs on a mission, sending you love and light. Until next time.
It was